So now I think in this section of the discussion, right? So my main primarily aim is goal is like why people need security to be specific, right? So and how a modular approach or a silo approach may not help in the longer run, right? And how I think from the ROI perspective, this may be a burden to any company, right? This kind of approach, I think how costlier it can be, right? So now I think if you see from the various perspective, right, like adding a lot of tools to your environment, right, doesn't I think give that much value. Of course, from that respective of feature point of view, it is good, but from the overall point of view, they are just a certain section or fragments of the feature which I think they are addressing and they are taking care of that, right? So from a broader notion, from the sales perspective, right, if you approach a customer, right, and plan or maybe go about the solution, right, so you can tell them, right, like, okay, firewall is good, but I think it's just a gateway, right? So you need to ask like how many solutions they have in their environment, right? And based on that, I think you should know, do the solutioning, or you should do the solutioning, or maybe uh, open up your, I think, solutioning, I think, basket, right? So, so in that case, lot of solutions, a lot of tools doesn't guarantee your infra is safe and secure, right? This is one aspect which you can talk about it, right? And also the growing number of devices, because you take any infrastructure, it is not situated to a particular infra or a particular location or office, right? You have organizations who have a multi-office scenario. They have the DC in various parts of geographical location, right? DCDR and multi-office location where people working from anywhere, right? And you have people coming to your office, right? So in that case, you have, I think, environment where I think people can work from anywhere. And in the current scenario, you cannot restrict anybody to work from only office, right, or only at XYZ place, right? So you have people roaming across the globe. So your infra or your solution should be such, or you should have a solution. We should be able to see the overall infra perspective, right? Whatever traffic is coming, right, from that perspective, a visibility you should have, right? If I can say in a brief manner, the solution which you have, right, should give a visibility of your overall infrastructure, right? So irrespective of wherever you are or how your infrastructure or architecture is such, right? So this is how I think the other perspective which no, you should look in while doing the solutioning, right? Now I think you all know, I think perimeter is not defined, right? So perimeter is dead, right? You work from anywhere, right? So that is, I think, gone back right now. And also, I think with the modular approach, you need to have manpower, skilled manpower onto those various solution perspective, right? So in that case, the cost also goes up, right? You have to have a hands-on experience who is expertise on that particular tool. And any guy leaves the organization is also a task, right? You get a new guy, train them, right? That itself also amount to a lot of cost, and the manpower goes into training, right? So just to brief, like the solution, I think, which you can suggest, right, or they can explore, should be simple and easy to understand. Wherein I think it should not be a rocket science, wherein I think you have to go on training for 3 4 months and then you get to know about the product and solution, right? Or you don't have to heavily rely on the vendor, right, or the product company, right? So this should be solution like, so that no, it should be easy to understand, it should be handy, so that within few weeks, I think you are up and ready and you can navigate and work on the tool, right? So to qualify resource is a challenge, right? But how you can address it? Why no? I think a, platform approach or a solution which gives a visibility within a click of the button, right? So that should be one aspect we should which you should think, or you should as a partner or as a consultant, so just should suggest your customer. So have that approach, right? So that is one thing. And apart from this, security, compliance is a major factor. Now, I think if it is not there, it is also going to be stringent now moving forward, right? With various government and organizations, no, trying to work on the compliance factor. So, which becomes a major factor apart from your security and the business disruption. Compliance is becoming the major factor, right? Which you should address. And from the business perspective, I think most of the time the solution goes, or the product which you buy is goes from the managed perspective, because you don't want to own the for example, hardware, or own the solution, right? So in many of the cases we see, like most of the SMB cases, or mid sector or mid enterprises cases, right? The customer is into specific segment, right? For example, a fintech sector or XYZ sector, right? Wherein he has his core team into that specific domain in which they are working, but they don't have enough manpower to work on the security, right? And I think if you want to set up a SOC, then you have to have a people, 7 to 8 people working round the clock, right? Then you have to have an infra, right? Hardware also it becomes a monitoring aspect, right? Then you should also see, like, no, the connectivity is proper, right? The hardware functioning is proper, right? So all those various aspects, I think it becomes a cost center for any mid-size or smaller or mid environment customer, right? So and also the enterprises are also are going on that approach. Just like, no, you are putting up your data in various data center, right? Just to save on cost, right? So in that same case, also a lot of, I think, enterprises, or majority of the enterprises, are also going that way, and going in a managed services space, wherein they offload their security and all those parameters to a managed service provider, MSP, right? Who takes care of all their security and all their compliance needs, right? And they are just, I think, whatever they require, it is being serviced, right? So that is where, in a managed services, maybe where in this security as a service, right? Majority of the business happen in this sector, right? So so, so in that case, right, to sum up, like, if you want to set up a SOC, right? So rather than going and buying various products and setting up a SOC, right? So wherein I think you already have a platform, solutions available, right? Which can give you that platform, so that no, you don't have to juggle and trying to integrate multiple solutions and to form a services, right? So SOC in a box, you get it as a platform, and then rest, I think you have your manpower, train the manpower, and as in when, I think, with the minimum manpower you can start your business, right? And as in when you scale it, and then you can start adding the resource. So that is, I think, from the day one, with a platform approach, you can become an MSP, right? And as and when you increase, you can keep on adding those additional resources, right, to scale the business, right? So remember, I think MSP or this managed services is also a business, right? So if you don't get the ROI, break even ASAP, right? So I think the more, I think, it's a worrisome for you, right? So that is where I think the approach, I think, which we take is, I think, helping the environment to scale up their business right from on the day one itself only, right? So that is from the services sector perspective, how the approach of platform helps you into that business perspective, like. Now, coming back to last not the least, like hacking as a service, ransomware as a service, right? So these are not there in public domain, but I think you should also educate this customer, or your partners, right? Like these are there, but I think it's not been talked about, right? You can avail services for a few $1,000s, get a ransomware attack on the competition, get the business down, right? And get the benefit out, right? So I think most of the people don't know it, but this happens in the back door, right? So to avoid this, I think we should have a approach, which a proactive approach, which should be able to take care of any kind of a scenario. Like this is one, like there are various scenarios, ransomware, DDoS, and various other threat scenarios, which I think as a platform we are able to see in a real time basis and are able to, take care and mitigate it, right? So this is what I think from the whenever you go to a customer, right, you can definitely talk about it, right? Like he will say, I think, like, I have a firewall, I have a SIM, it is working fine and all those stuff, right? But most of the cases, I think, maybe they are working in a traditional way, they have not got into, right? You can also talk to the SOC team, right? Because CISO, CIOs are there, right? They are from the top level, but they have team working on it, right? So if there is a sync, right, he will know what the problem is. Otherwise, if it is a traditional approach solution, most of the things they might not be able to see, right? Something is happening in their environment, but they are not having the visibility, right? So that is where I think the the solution gets changed in various scenarios. When something happens and they, abruptly, one thing they want to do is just change the solution, right? So that is what I think happens in most of the scenario. But your perspective as a MSP, as a partner, you can always guide them, like these are specific scenarios which are there in the market, how as a technology world has evolved, and what all, I think, the approach is there. If they can adapt and move on, I think it is good. Otherwise, no, they will have to maybe get into some of the other issues, right, from the data perspective, right? So this is just a what do you say, scenarios, I think, which while talking to the customer, which we can talk about various scenarios. Just no, now coming back to the solutioning, right? So whenever you approach any customer, right? So he might be already having the traditional approach, right? Like he might be having a firewall, antivirus, email gateway, so forth, right? So if you see security, we divide into two parts, right? One is the security hygiene, which is the basic level, which whenever the bomb is being prepared, right? You have a firewall, antivirus, gateway, proxies, right? So all those stuff, right? And this is the basic thing which you will find in any environment. If not, then I think there might be a initial level of a small enterprise customer, right? So now on the next level, I think which you see is the CMDS, right? Which we in our term we call as continuous monitoring and auto stopping of threats and breaches, right? So in that case, our solution goes into, right, the basic hygiene. It should be there, right? If anybody says like, okay, if I take your solution, will the firewall is not needed? Of course, firewall is needed because these are the gatekeepers or the basic hygiene. So these hygiene are maybe messenger, right? Which gives all the data inputs, right? And apart from this, I think we have our own intelligence, the own algorithm, right? Feature wise, which extracts information from these and work on it, right? Now, in CMDS, I think if you see, this is the architecture our platform is based on, right? So our platform gets deployed into, apart from the hygiene, gets into your environment, right? And whatever be your hybrid scenario environment, like I think if you are a user, right, you have traveling across the globe, or if you are work from home scenario, right, or if you have any partner who is coming into your environment to avail certain services, right, or if you have on-prem off-prem data center, right, or if you have a cloud sources, right. So this scenario can be either from a single customer, or it can be this can be from a various customers, various tenants, maybe you can assume in that case, right. So basically our point is to collect data or integrate with all these infrastructure sources, right, so that no, whatever is happening in that particular environment, we are able to give you that what do you say, environment and data perspective, right? And so that no, you have a visibility of what is happening in your infrastructure from the traffic movement perspective, and from the traffic we extract various elements, right, from the traffic element, and then whatever threat scenarios are there, we present it onto the a dashboard, which is simple and easy to understand, right? Now these are collected through a secure tunnel basically, and all the I think data is passed through our algorithm, right? A platform, right? In the hexagonal part in the center, which you see, is the Seceon feature packed in a single platform, right? And rest, I think you get the output onto the dashboard, which is comprehensive in nature and proactively any threat scenarios. You name any threat scenario, because a lot of people come to us, like, and they say like, no, I want this, no, 100, 150 use cases, right? So we just I think tell them it is out of the box. You don't have to write manual policies and those n number of rules, right? It is there out of the box, right? You plug it and I think ingest the data, and most of the use cases is already defined into the platform, and you will start getting the output from day one, right? Of course, I don't say I think all the I think everything is covered. I think some of the scenarios, I think various different customer have their own things to see, right? So in that case, I think we can have those couple of things modified, but I think rest of all the things are out of the box, so you don't have to do the manual efforts right from the day one, right? So the USP of the platform approach is you don't have to do manual or laborious job of writing policies, rules, integrating various data sources, and manually correcting those false positives, right? No, it is rightly done out of the box on the first get going itself only, right? So that no, you save enough on time, and the human element, I think, which is out there, I think does a more fruitful job than writing various manual policies and trying to filter those false alerts, right? So that is the there. So these are there. And apart from the visibility, proactive detection, and containment and elimination, right? So action taken is also on two aspects. One is the manual push button action, wherein I think the human element is there, finds the threats, investigates, and take action out of it. And the and couple of parts are the automation, right, in which the source functionality, it helps us to you into time into take auto remediation action, wherein at the weekends or the Sundays, right, wherein you are there, but if in any case emergency is out there, right? So you definitely can put the auto remediation on for that specific period of time, so that no, you, because we want monitoring to happen as a platform, we want monitoring to happen 24/7. I think that screen should not go invisible in front of you, right? So in that case, you can put that auto remediation feature on. So during that 2 3 hours or 4 hours, if you are not there, the platform is capable of taking action on its own, so that any threat arises within that tenure, it can automatically take action. And after that, when you come, you can always go back and see what action the platform has taken, and verify it, and then let it go. If it is good, I think you can let it go. Or if it is what do you say, a trusted element, or the something which is valid in your environment, so you can always roll back and put it as a TTI or trusted threat indicator, because something will be obvious, like no, you might be doing which you can trust, but in normal scenario it can also be a threat, so you can put that as a TTI and you can let it go, right? So these are various, I think, couple of, I think, the USPs of the platform is there, which you can do it. Because if you integrate multiple platforms, right, so you'll have to do a lot of integration modifications, right? Because you have 4 5 6 solutions, you I think you try to integrate them, because these solutions from different vendor make are built up from a different ground level up, right? And integrating them or marrying them together to stitch a solution, it's always a difficult task, right? Because one or the other open door or broken things are there in the system, which the hacker can exploit, right? But wherein in our solution, when we envision and when we design the solution, right, it was all built up from grounds up, right? So if you say I want a separate feature and bad, we rather than not sell the solution, right, rather than no, giving it as a platform, right? So that is how I think we our approach towards security is, so that, and it is benefiting our various customers, right? And we also suggest, right, some customer comes, I only want a SOAR, right? So definitely, rather than giving a SOAR module, we rather than give the overall platform, right? Because the guy who has bought the solution, in that solution, he was not having a SOAR, right? But when we started our journey, everything was built up, because we knew and we had that vision, like no, moving forward, a lot of traffic will be there, increasing on the digital platform. And I think that is where I think this automation or this platform like approach will only enhance and give you a clear visibility, right? So that no, we save enough on time, and then I think take various, I think do various basic research and take action immediately, so that no, that the time of mean time to identify and detect can be minimized to a near real minute, right? So that is that. And apart from this analytics, threat hunting forensic, it is also a part of the platform, because in a normal scenario, forensic is another team, right? So you have various teams doing XYZ work, right? Here you have the platform which gives all the thing whatever you require, right? Maybe 3 months 4 months back, you can go back and do the research, something happened in the earlier past which you want to do the investigation, or something happens, and then because most of the time if something happens in any scenario, the compliance guy comes in, they ask for a raw logs for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months back, right? So of course, I think the platform has that approach, right? That you can store the raw logs for a minimum of 180 days, a maximum of 1 year, 2 year, or you can do it up to 7 years, right? So you can have to configure the storage, right? So you have that data available with you, right? From the platform itself only, you can go back and do the research in R&D, and no, you can whatever is required, rather than a forensic team comes and asks for your data so that they do the forensic, rather than the platform has the capability to go back and do the R&D and give whatever findings, investigations, right? So that is how I think this overall integrated platform help us in trying to whatever you want, whether other guys are doing in a model fashion, you have it on the get-go in the solution itself only, right? So that is, I think, how the solution is designed in that fashion, right? Pushpendra, go to the next. Yeah, just hold on. So normally, if you see this, the security market, right? So if you want to set up a SOC, right, various there are model solutions are out there, right? And a team of SOC analysts, right, maybe 12 to 15 SOC analyst team are there, L1, L2, L3, right? So these are the basic example of how if setting up a SOC in the earlier days was a cost-effective, what is it? cost-centric job, right? But now with the approach which we have, I think right from next day you can become a MSP, right? So this is how I think technology as a platform has facilitated you to get into the business right from the next day, right? So this is just I think a glimpse of what I think used to be in the earlier, right? And currently, I think if you uh, go with the various solution approach, I think you still find this kind of a things done. But now I think it is all thing of the past to be specific, right? With the approach like us, right? So go to the next, Pushpin. Go to the next. Yeah, so I think these are various, I think from the infra perspective, right? Because any infrastructure you have, right? So you don't have a data at a single location, right? So any hybrid location, right? So we as a solution, I think take care of anything which you have, right? Whether you have a hybrid environment, whether you have a cloud environment, you have data at various multi-cloud environment like Azure, Google, Oracle, or any public private data center, right? So our aim, our job is to bring all the platform, all the data sources from a visibility in a single platform perspective, so that you know what is happening sitting at a single location, what is happening in Europe or US, or maybe if you have in Singapore, right? So you are able to watch and go through the data, right? And from that, any threat arises, you are able to take action sitting somewhere at the command and control center, right? So that no, you are a click away from your data perspective, right? What is happening in the infra perspective, right? So any infrastructure you have, we definitely will design in such a manner that I think you can see your infra, see your, and I think from any threat scenario arises from these, definitely I think you will be able to see and take action out of it, right? So this is the architecture I think which we have designed, and any infra you have, right? So definitely we can sit back and work on it, right? So that we can address any of the hybrid scenarios you have, right? So that's the thing, right? Which we can do with the approach which we have, right? Go to the next. And I think this is basically from the ADR perspective, XDR perspective, right? So if you have any scenario like if you have a laptop, moving laptop across the globe, then a data center server, right? So this infrastructure will cover all, like including your endpoints also, right? Like you can get into the more micromanage of endpoints, right? With the new release which we have, right? So I think you can monitor anything and everywhere, I think on the get-go, right? So that no, because I think those moving devices, I think, are the major concern nowadays, right? Because the hybrid scenario in which we are working, those moving assets can also be, can damage, right? Become a threat, right? So that no, you get those under 24 by 7 monitoring with the XDR, right? So that no, any time of the day or night, right? Whatever happens on the system, right? So you are able to have that visibility, right? And sitting at a command and control, your team can no take action if something no fishy arises out of it, right? So that is the thing, right? This architecture or the XDR will help you into that perspective, right? And next, go to the next. The use cases, go to the next. And these are various use cases. So definitely the previous or the legacy is you get things in modular. Okay, you want a ransomware module, I think you will get the ransomware XYZ additional cost, right? And you get a cloud scenario or XYZ, or you have to certain set up your own policies, right? Known or unknown threats, right? So definitely the earlier things where it was more towards the signature base, right? The known threats, then apply various algorithm, right? But now in the current scenario, every day you find new and new viruses and new 0 days, I think, threats to be specific, right? Getting into your environment. And these are beyond those hygiene system, right? So the hygiene system, it will easily bypass, right? So the point is wherein you in a day you are getting more and new kind of a threats, right? So you cannot have a traditional approach or a modular approach where you can keep on applying, like, okay, ransomware, you buy one module and then DDoS, or no XYZ, you buy one module and integrate it, right, from various vendor sources, right? So in that case, you have it all covered from the single solution perspective, right? Because because you also understand that if you put various multiple people working on individual devices, human error can also cost you, right? From the data integration level or the data working level, right? The human error can also cost you and have a deviation out of it, right? So in that case, we have it like anything you have it, we cover all of it from a single platform perspective. No need of buying additional licenses or additional thing, right? It is all covered under single license, right? So these are I think the broader perspective, what do you say, use cases, right? Under that way, there are various multi and subdomains, right, which is covered, right? But we are giving a broader perspective, right? Any insider threats are there, right? Because most of the time, insider are the gateway, right? And these guys, I think, insider knowingly or unknowingly, they activate certain, I think, viruses or any thing they can activate, right? Unknowingly, definitely, and you cannot help them party, right? So it is always good that you have a proactive approach, so that no anything, any mistake happens, human error happens, right, or something, the solution should be able to take care of it, right? So in that case, the solution, I think, gives you all those insider thing happens, 60-70% are there. So it will help you into giving that visibility, right, what is happening, because 60-70% things happen from internal sources only, right, within the network only, right, and we are blind to it, right? So you have that visibility with the platform which we have, so that no you are able to take timely action and contain and emulate before your data gets slowly and steadily out of your environment, right? So that is, I think, what I think this solution will give you, right? And you name it, whatever scenarios you name it, right, any use cases you name it, definitely it will be covered by the platform, I think, which the solution gives you, right? So that is that. Go to the next. Yeah, and these brute force, web exploit, DNS tunneling, and various compliances. Right now, the compliances from various part of the apart from across the globe. Right, what they ask, uh, any events. Right, because as a solution, we take your logs and network traffic and break them into various elements, and we track them. Right. So all these compliances, they ask various events to be put on the report and submit to the regulatory authority. Right, since from the get-go we are having those events tracked, and you ask any, for example, any new kind of a reports is being asked, right? So definitely, I think, since we are monitoring them, so we can definitely give you that events, and those compliances can be covered on the get-go, right? So you need not worry of like, okay, if anything, any modification, because a lot of new things or compliances will be added moving forward, right? And every 6 months or every now and then, some of the other things those regulatory body ask, right? So definitely you are prepared with platform approach or like us, right? So you are definitely prepared yourself. You are ready to whatever they ask, you are ready to pull out those reports and give it to them, right? So that is what I think this helps you in that case, right? And from the other use cases, like you have manufacturing plants, then you have power sector, then you have aviation, right? Recently, we had, I think, 3 months back, basically, we had one of the airports which we are covering, right? A couple of airports which we are covering in India, right? Was a DDoS attack, right? And the platform was able to see it coming, right? And they were able to block that particular from traffic from where it was coming, and it was a Sudanese based attack, so it was getting into their environment, and they were able to see a sudden upsurge in traffic was coming, so that in a timely fashion, since they were monitoring and the platform was able to give that visibility to them, they were able to contain those. But after that also, they used our scanner to scan the environment to see if any damage was done, and it was just the initial stage, right? After that, they had couple of attacks tried, but I think since they were vigilant, so they were able to take care of it on the get-go, right? And this only happened because they were having a visibility of what is happening in the environment, and from their behavior perspective with the ML and AI, they were knowing like from where traffic is coming, from the where usual traffic, where usual connections are coming, right? But the connection with the traffic which was coming, it was from some unknown country, right, where I think not much traffic was coming. So sudden upsurge in traffic, definitely it raised an eyebrow, and they were able to know. I think alert was generated, and they were able to take action in a timely fashion, right? So this is just one case, I think, which we have experienced 3 months back, right? It's just, I think, because of the visibility of that approach which we had, helped them in trying to pinpoint them, right? Go to the next. Yeah, I think these are threat hunting, forensic incident monitoring and response, right? And I think elimination option, right? Quarantining, killing the process, reset the connection. So all those various action taken as a part of SOAR functionality, the platform has it, right? And we were the early one. If I can say that around 2016 we started when we started our journey, right? And we were the early movers into the ML and AI, right? I think a lot of people were telling like, no, ML and AI will not work into this domain, right? Security domain. But those were the guys now, which are now, I think, following that, like acquiring those ML and AI based companies, right? Or no, buying various model companies to no, work onto that, right? So we knew, I think, the approach which he has taken, I think, is will be giving us a lot of visibility. It is just a matter of time, like no, we work on it, right? And I think now, I think everyone is trying to follow that approach, right? So that is next, I think more or less, I think it is covered. I think I don't know what is next. So more or less, I think we covered. I think the benefit to be specific, right? Our main aim is to reduce the time of detection, so that no, you are able to take action within next minute. Because if you detect in a timely fashion, but if you don't take action, if you take action after 3-4 hours or 5 hours, right? The overall purpose of no detection fails, right? So detection and mitigation both should go hand in hand. And of course, I think rest all the luxury which you have is the analytics, the visibility which we give, right? And deployment is simple and flexible. You don't in a normal case, deployment is a project, but in our case, deployment, if it's a simple plain scenario, within weeks or within 2 weeks, you get it up and ready, right? If it's a big environment, within 1 or 2 weeks, you are up and ready, right? Of course, fine tuning will take time, right? But I think 90% or 95% of the integration is being done on the get-go, right? And of course, I think that will help either you as a MSP or as a customer from the overall CapEx and OpEx perspective, because definitely either if you are a service provider or you are an end customer, definitely the ROI, the cost factor, you should also be, I think, aware of it, right? So the platform or the solution which you are investing in, what ROI it will give, definitely you should also ask, no, or maybe as a MSP, you can also tell your customer, right? From the investment ROI perspective, whatever solution you are offering, that will definitely give them a better returns on that part, right? And of course, I think from the platform, I think all these feature you get in a single solution. So you need not go the modular approach and tell them, I think maybe if he understands good, but slowly and steadily, definitely, I think, because we have seen a lot of customers, they didn't agree, but after a year or half, right, they definitely came back and then they, again engaged with us. And I think we are working with them in that sense, right? So definitely, I think giving the right perspective of the solution, a right approach, whether they might be misled or misguided, definitely they will come back to us. Because if you give a right suggestion solution to your customer, so definitely he will value you in the longer run. And once you get in with solution like us, right, so definitely with good service, you have a lot more to give to your customers, right, apart from the services from the platform which you can give them, right? So that is there. And these, I think, are on the broader perspective, how a platform approach will give you more insight rather than giving it in a modular fashion, is what I think you can tell your customers and gain in a longer perspective, right? So that is the overall perspective which I wanted to present, right? So that's it, Smith, from my side. Maybe now I think the team can give a brief of platform, right? How that will help in the longer run, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Vinay. Appreciate it. That was a good description of the platform approach and how we do this. Uh, let's have Aniket, if you're ready, give a brief overview of how the demo reflects the platform message. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Anna. Good evening to everyone. Good afternoon, good morning for different parts of the world. So let me share my screen. As Vinay was mentioning, like nowadays, it is a common thing that there are multiple solutions that are being used by any organization, especially when you're talking about cybersecurity or IT security. I hope you are able to see my screen correctly.
Yes, we are able to see it. Absolutely.
Oh, great. So in theory, we know that there are multiple solutions that are being used at peripheral security, at endpoint security level in any organization. Like it could be there are firewalls, there is a PIM, there is a PAM, and then at endpoint level there is an antivirus, there could be EDR. So these are the various security modules that are being implemented. Now you need to have a platform. This is where it becomes important that these different solutions that are implemented from different vendor, it could be from different vendors, it could be working on different technologies. You need to have some kind of coordination, right, between all of them to ensure that the security is maintained tight. So this is where the platform comes into picture. Okay, the OTM, as we call ourselves, Seceon OTM, Open Threat Management. This ensures that all your peripheral security devices are correlated. The information is analyzed at a single level. Okay, and then the output is given to you from a single platform, so that it becomes easier for the SOC team or the security administrators who are going to work on it to to take further action on the same. Now, let's see the practical part of it, what Vinay was telling us theoretically. This is the platform that you're seeing. As you can see, it is a complete, it gives you a complete overview of the security. To start off with, the platform, the console itself can be divided into like roughly three parts. One is the informative section wherein you have the different dashboards, the different visualizations. Then you have the analytics and correlation and the source section wherein the actual security analysis is done, the security alerts are shown, the information, the drill down information of the security alerts is given, and you also get the remediation option, which becomes obviously the next stage and very important stage in terms of security. Then the third part would be the administration and reporting section, wherein you have multiple compliance reports, administrative reports, email notifications, so on and so forth. So as you could see, it is a combination of everything. And so the platform gives you uh, some things for everyone. So this is the idea behind it. Okay. To start off with, this is a performance dashboard which will give you an overview about how many events are being analyzed, how many threat indicators are found. So all these are being collected from different kinds of security devices. It would be the logs from the firewall, flows from the core networking devices, as well as security logs from various application servers, database servers, so on and so forth. So this will, so combining this information, as you could see, we not only collect the logs, but also collect the net flows or the S flow. That is the network traffic is collected by the platform. This is to ensure that you get a complete overview, and it is not a one dimensional approach. That is it. So as you could see here, just to give you an example, there is a traffic monitoring that is put up in the dashboard. How much traffic has been found, what are the various communicating nations. So the internal host by upload data upload value, top public sites by data upload, top malicious host by flow count. So all this information, this is not, this you can't get it only from unidirectional things like logs. Okay, so there is a flow traffic that is analyzed, and after analysis, all this information is put up in form of the visualization dashboard that you get. To top it, the dashboard itself is like customizable. You can have any of those tiles removed, if they are not applicable for you. If you want to give more visibility to a particular tile, you can do that as well. So it is completely customizable as per the individual requirement. Okay. Then there are multiple dashboards, as you could see, the alert dashboard, which will give you the information about these alerts, executive dashboard, which will give you the real-time information about the rate of information, rate of flow of data, like how many EPS have been handled, what are the various regions or countries from where the information is being collected by the platform, as well as the different kind of devices and what amount of data is being sent. So all those information you get it under the executive dashboard. Then you have email dashboard covering the email hygiene or the email server information part of it. Cloud dashboard for individual devices, which are cloud-based devices. Okay, and then you also have the UEBA and the host behavior analytics. The user behavior analytics and host behavior analytics. Again, the information that is collected from multiple sources has been correlated, and you get the information results displayed in graphical format, which becomes very easier to understand. Okay. So this is the overall visualizations. Then you have, if you want to see the individual host connections, asset visualizations, you get multiple options that are listed under the visualization section. So this is about the data that is collected and how the data is being, represented to for viewing purpose. For the administrators who are going to view and get the overview of the data and the communication that is happening. The important thing from security point of view, alert analysis. Like, as I said, the major functionality of the platform is to ensure that the data that is being collected from the various sources or various levels of security that is implemented within the organization, how that data is correlated and what is the output of that correlation and analysis. So this the alert analysis screen will give you a complete idea about the functionality importance of the platform, like how many alerts have been raised, major or critical alerts, whether they are user defined, host based, user based, how many are assigned, so who is working on it. As I said, like, this is the section where the SOC team would be more interested in or working on it. Okay, so let's take an example about how the alert analysis is done. As you could see, let's consider this potential malware infected host alert. As you could see, whenever an alert is raised, an alert ID would be assigned, severity would be defined, and then it will also give you the origin. I mean, what are the originating constituents of that alert? Like, what are the different, sources from which information has been collected and analyzed while generating this alert? Like, for example, this one is combination of machine learning engine, host-based information, as well as EDR information. So a potential malware infected host alert, a particular system, Vikram Dev, has been observed, which indicates a serious risk of some malicious activity. Okay, so it has found out this entity which is under the threat. Okay, then there is a confidence level that has been assigned to it. Okay, it will give you the source information about what are the various sources from which it has got this information and what is the actual information. So here, when you just double click on the alert, you could get the complete information, like, what are the different security events which are constituted to raising of this alert. So how does this platform differs from a traditional SIM software? What would have happened is, in case of a traditional SIM software, it would have been like these kind of different security events would have to be analyzed by the SOC team or whoever is the security analyst. These different events would have been analyzed by the SOC team, and then it would have been come to conclusion that there is some malware infected host which is causing this issues. So all this analysis from different sources has been done by the platform. Okay, so machine learning, host, okay, in some cases you will find network, so on and so forth. So all these analysis is done, all the number of occurrences is given, and the individual. So instead of 4 or 5 different security threats with hundreds of occurrences, you get a single security alert. Okay, so that's the beauty of the platform. Okay, as you could see, if the SOC team wants to get to the get to more information from about the individual events, they can definitely get it. Like it will list out the individual events, what was the source, what was the destination, okay, and then why it will also give you the reason. We are completely transparent, like it also gives you a reason why exactly this was considered as a security threat. So as you could see here, source, destination, and the duration that has caused this alert to be raised. Then other thing is complete timeline of the activity that has happened. So as you can see here, when exactly the alert has been raised, even before that, the activity has been like under monitoring. The Seceon platform is continuously monitoring all the activities, and then it is giving you the exact time when the security alert would be raised. If you want to go more deep into it, then you also get the information about MITRE attack techniques IDs that were matched during this particular security event. So it will, the red ones that you see here are the ones that are matched in this grid. So alert has been raised. The information has been correlated. Alert has been raised. So what next? Again, from a single screen, you can get to know, you can define the next course of action. You want to assign it to a particular team, you can do that assignment here, mention that so-and-so team is working on it. Or you want to add a comment that, okay, this was something that was handled by so-and-so person, you can add a comment. If you feel that this was a kind of a false positive, you can use the trusted threat indicator option, as well as the platform will also give you a recommendation about what needs to be carried out. Okay, so as you can see here, all the SOC related options, actions can be performed. Then the next level, that is the SOAR capability of the platform. You can also remediate the alert from here itself. You can select the remediation device. Okay, depending on the alert and the information, it will list the applicable remediation device, and just select that, select the remediation device, add command of what it needs to be done, and then it will tell you what kind of action it is going to take with remediation. I'm not going to do the remediation here, but just clicking on update will do the remediation action. So from a single screen itself, on a single platform, you can do from start to finish, not only collection of data, analysis, and then remediation or mitigation of that alert can be done. Okay, so you can view the individual logs, flows that could be viewed from here. You can build your own queries. As I said, the SOAR capability also has the playbooks. You can create your own playbooks. So workflow could be defined for a particular scenario, for a particular alert, so that whenever an alert is raised, you want to notify someone, you want to check the severity and take necessary action depending on the severity, so on and so forth. Different things can be carried out using the playbooks. So you get this option, and it is like just drag and drop. I want to add any step in the playbook, I can just drag and drop, say comment on that alert, send email for that alert, so on and so forth. So I can carry out all these actions using the playbook. We have the auto remediation, wherein you can set up you can set up the schedule for carrying out the remediation activity. Okay, so these are the core capabilities of the platform. Then coming to it, like how the platform combines everything. You get the EDR dashboard separately. So in case of EDR setup, Seceon EDR setup, you have the information about these endpoints, and get a complete information like you saw in the other dashboard. Okay, what are the risky endpoints? You get the information about those with malicious IPs, get this information. So top processes across the endpoints that are, so what are the top processes that are being used in your organization, or have visited the endpoints, which countries they have visited, so on and so forth. All this information, you get it through the EDR dashboard. Okay. Host information, you will get it about the individual PCs, network details, activities that have performed on the individual PCs, all this information, you get it from the EDR section. Okay. Then there are additional options. You can create asset groups, customized applications can be listed out. Okay. And then as we saw earlier, you can have the cloud-based devices. So data from the cloud-based devices also can be analyzed under the same umbrella. Notifications. You have there are multiple third-party integration options. Like you have your own ITSM tool, and the SOC team is using their own ticketing system. Okay, this platform can be integrated with that ticketing tool so that tickets can be raised. Okay. And these are some of the ones supported. But as you can see here, we have the syslog notification. So virtually each and every notification, ITSM tool can be integrated with the Seceon platform, so that whenever the alerts are raised, you can have the tickets generated in your own existing platform. Okay. So then you have the vulnerability assessment scan. Okay, wherein you can set up your own VS server. And not only that, the results of these VS server will again be used by the platform while when it is doing the security alert. So as you can see, it is not only different modules that are being, just not, we are not just combining the modules as such. Okay, it's not that we are joining these modules, but these the information from which is gathered from these different modules is being used by the platform to enhance the security level. Okay, by using those in the uh, analysis and correlation engine. Okay, so you have the file integrity monitor. Okay, wherein sensitive files or folders would be monitored. You can just provide the path, and then any actions that are taken for the files on these paths will be notified. So yes, last but not the least, there are administrative options, like you can do your own branding, okay, by having the customized logos. And you also have the integration with your Active Directory integration, so that the users and all can be created. And the notification options. Okay, so you get multiple notification options as well through emails and individual notifications on the so different notifications can be configured. So coming to the reports part, so all of these, as I said, like it is giving you all the information, giving you all the details by doing the analysis under one umbrella and everything. So you also get a complete security posture report again, so that a single report gives you a complete idea about how many alerts have been raised, how many of them are remediated ones, then the different alerts, like what are the trends of the alerts that are found within the organization, traffic, and basically everything when you want to know as a security overview. Then you have the compliance report, HIPAA, PCI DSS, and NIST, which are out of the box, okay, and other operational reports. However, we have also come up with AI Security BI 360. Now, this will enable you to generate your own reports, to generate your own dashboards. So this becomes a completely different topic. So let's not get into it. But the only thing that I could say is, like, it is like with AI Security BI 360, you get endless possibility. You can have your own compliance report generated. You can have your own dashboards created and information that is being populated. You can get it downloaded and exported in the various form. So as you can see, there are multiple possibilities under single umbrella due to our platform approach, and that helps in not only maintaining the security of the platform, of your organization, but also to work towards security enhancement. So just to give you an overview, like I'm just showing you the add-on store. So as you can see, all of these things, what you see in the add-on store, you can get it under the single console. Okay, so these are various, I mean, not only about like analysis tools, forensic analysis can be done, BI tools are considered, you get multiple dashboards, then you have the EDR, LTS, which is the for used for compliance and analysis purpose. Okay, then the second information control as well as VS scan. So as you could see, multiple things that are covered under the same dashboard. So yes, this is from me. If there are any questions, you're welcome. Smith, over to you.
Thank you,
Thank
Aniket.
you.
Thank you, Aniket. This was really good.